right, so I'm out here in the shop and I got a couple things to address. The first one being that I had torn apart the motor, the 5.3, as you guys seen in the last video. They got the 4.8 in the truck now, and since then I loaded up the 5.3 and took it to our local engine guy. This guy's been around for years, and I just wanted to have an extra set of eyes on the motor. Basically make sure that I didn't miss anything in the block, so I could reuse it, and have him double check the lifter bore, that one lifter was mushroomed out in, and just make sure that that bore is okay and this block is reusable. The good news is the block is reusable. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the damage report of what happened when the motor lost oil pressure, and show you basically everything that is junk in the motor now. So unfortunately, I don't have two of the lifters with me. I think I have another video, so I'll insert that here. Obviously that's not supposed to look like that. It should look like that. It's a pretty good one. But yeah, I've had some problems with several lifters. Got like this one right here that's just completely collapsed on this side, and I had a couple like that, and they were all in different spots on the motor, which means that what I know is that this motor lost oil pressure all over, and it wasn't just one lifter failure that caused everything. I got my head just resting on my cam, but it's okay because the cam is a piece of junk anyways. I don't know if you can see. Oh, here. All right, so try to find the really bad lobe, which was back here. Oh, that's got a, look at that big old groove. I just seen that. There's one lobe that's terrible. There's a lot of, hold on. So the cam's kind of got a lot of dust on it right now because I haven't kept it covered. There's this big groove right here that I just noticed, but that is not, that's a problem, but that's not where the bad lifter was. That's kind of getting bad. And this one, yeah, this is the worst one. I'm trying to clean it, but it doesn't clean. It's either, that's what it should look like. And that one, yeah, that's all ground up. I know most of this cam probably looks terrible. They're not all bad, but it's just dirty. But yeah, this lobe over here with that groove in it, I just noticed that. This is the worst one. This is the one where the mushroom was, this is the one where the lifter was mushroomed out in the bore. It was blown out, and that's not good. So, great cam, it's not gonna live anymore. So, and then from there, really, I mean, the lifters and the cam were the worst of it, and then my pistons, which are, I don't have any idea where my pistons are. They're in a box somewhere in the shop. Oh, there they are. So this was, oh, that's not a good one. That's a bad one. Okay, this is a good one. So, like, you know, pistons are supposed to move pretty freely. This one doesn't. Oh, that one's all right. This one of these is terrible, and you really got to force it. They're all kind of, I mean, they're all pretty bad if I'm being fair. Oh yeah, that's the really bad one. Yeah. So my wrist pins were seized up in the pistons. Yeah, there's a couple of them that are seized up pretty bad, so that's the problem. Lifters are a problem. Cam's obviously trashed. That tells me this thing had a lack of a lot of oil pressure. not just a lack of oil at one lifter or one specific area in the motor. So what I'm gonna do is pull this apart, because in here, let me think, this is the inlet side, and it goes around, and it's supposed to go into the block through here. And there's like a little plunger in here and a spring. So my thought is that this plunger is supposed to be up, closing against this outlet, and your oil flows through and pushes through the block, right? So my thought is it either got really hot or something happened to the spring or the plunger and it dropped down. Maybe it was working like it was supposed to, I don't really know, but the plunger dropped down and it got stuck, and then it didn't have any pressure going into the block and just kept circling the oil back through here. So I'm going to pull this apart, take these out, and we're going to take a look at it. That is my thought. That is my hypothesis. Big word. Hypothesis for what happened. But I don't really know. That's what I think happened, just because of the circumstances. It just lost oil pressure all the way around. The other thing is, and I'm kind of an idiot, so I could have totally screwed this up. I'm pretty sure I just slapped this oil pump on the motor when I rebuilt it, and it lasted for 1.5 years of me completely beating on it, and it just took a crap because I didn't shim this right. There's a way you're supposed to do that whenever you put these on the motor. So that could have also been my fault entirely. I don't know, but we're going to pull this apart right now and we're going to take a look at it. All right, after 20 minutes trying to find the right socket. Whoops. That's a good thing I'm getting a new one of these. We're going to act like that didn't just happen. I'm doing this for you. I only have one hand here. I don't have my tripod with me. All right, so this is how it sits on the motor. I've never torn one of these apart before, so I don't know. That's pretty neat. Oh, that looks like, to me, I would imagine that would be, is that the top of it? Maybe not, I don't know. Is that all the way up? Somebody comment below and tell me if that's all the way up in there where it's supposed to be, or if my hypotenuse was right. I guess I could have just pulled that apart, but I wanted to see this side first. So now I'm gonna get an Allen head, pull that out. Okay, to keep from throwing my oil pump on the floor again, I already loosened this. Oh yeah. Well, the spring looks all right. But that tells me okay, that kind of answers my question, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. I feel like that should drop out pretty easy if that's going to act as a valve and move from oil pressure. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Somebody let me know if, you know, somebody comment before I have to Google all this and figure it out. Somebody's going to be mad at me for doing this too, but I'm getting a new oil pump so you guys can calm down. Did it move? Yeah. That tells me, since I can't even pry that out of there, that that was the problem, and that is why my motor completely burned up. This valve here, this plunger, got stuck, and when this spring heated up, it either, I think it has to drop down and it releases, because that looks like that could be the top of it right there. Oh, you guys can't even see. That looks like right in there could be the top of it, and it's dropped down some, and it would just flow oil through here, and it comes back. So that's how this works, is you have your gear in here, whatever this thing is. Gear is what I would call it. Oh God, how does it work? So your oil shooting in here, this thing's spinning around, doing its little dance, and then it's pushing oil back through here, but this is dropped down, and so it's letting it all come back through here, and there's not enough pressure going to the block from here through this passage, so it's just circulating. Motor loses oil pressure, gets really hot and unlubricated, and dies. So that's probably what happened. I'm gonna try to get this out, so I'm gonna set the phone down for a second. All right, so I pried on it and dropped it down. Here we go. Yeah, so that was the top of it, so we could see it. I could see the top of it from there. I'm gonna shove it back in here and see how far it goes in. See if that's where it's supposed to be. Okay, yep. So that totally seated. It went and clicked in. I don't know if you could hear that, but as you can see, oh gosh, you can't really see on the camera here. Let me get into the... So there's that groove that's in the middle of it. There's a first groove. That is what you can see. Before, we were seeing the top of the plunger, but now we're not seeing the top of the plunger at all. So that answers my question. Plunger was dropped down, it was stuck, and I just burned up my motor because my fuel pump gave out. That is the feeling I had in the very beginning, was that for some reason I just lost oil pressure. It was very random. I was like, what the heck? Well, okay, I noticed I didn't have oil pressure after it was misfiring and everything, and I had no idea why it was misfiring, running super rough. Well, because lifters are collapsed and broke and shattered, and then my wrist pins are seizing up on my pistons. So that is the answer to the question. That's what happened to the 5.3. So if you guys have a 5.3 or a 4.8, make sure that's good. Or probably, you know, I don't think it's too much just to buy a milling oil pump. If you're already got the motor tore down and you're putting it together, just go get yourself a good name oil pump. I'm going to replace this one with a high pressure, low volume pump, and that should give me plenty of oil pressure, and I'll have all brand new parts. So whatever's wrong with this thing, I'll just chuck it in the trash and never think about it again. There's the answer. So let's check out the block real quick. I don't even know if you guys can see me right now, but I mean, it's really in pretty decent shape. Gotta clean all the surface up here, but I was worried it was this lifter that was stuck and giving me problems when I tore it down. And that's where this lobe, oh, this one, this is the front, this is the back of the cam, that's the bad lobe. So yeah, that was basically all of my problems. I lost oil pressure, which would have been going to that oil galley right there, and had no pressure going into here, no pressure going to the rest of the motor. That's what happened. Destroyed everything inside my motor, but luckily did not destroy the block. So we have a healthy 5.3 block. We get to rebuild this thing one day, and we'll see what happens in the future. See if we can't I don't know, get some kind of power adder on this thing and build it for the power adder too, because it was never really built for anything other than just having that big NA cam in it when I got this motor. So there we go, found the answer. Okay, so now that we found the answer to that, that pretty much wraps up this video. That's kind of all I wanted to find out, and now that I know that, I can just start building this motor. So I'm gonna start looking for, I don't know, maybe do I change the wrist pins and the pistons and run the stock rotating assembly, or do I get better pistons forged, or do I go ahead and bore this out and make a stroker motor out of it? I don't know. There's a lot of options. Probably gonna go a little bit cheaper route, but I'm open to ideas. So comment below what you guys want to see, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.